evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to VidaneTV. It is NEP's night in America and even parts of Canada. Here on the interweb, showtime. Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the broadcast booth, and alongside me, as always, on Thursday nights, Aaron Creed. Aaron, how are we feeling tonight, brother?
Oh, we're feeling pretty good. We got a long one tonight, potentially. It's the longest race in miles that we have all year. 100-lapper here at Charlotte Motor Speedway before we go and have some turkey.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. Been talking about this race for a couple of weeks now here on VidaneTV. It's always fun to watch the short track guys attack the big track, especially in these super trucks. Going to be a whole lot of fun. John Peters going to get the pole there with that 09 truck, and Kivy and Libby right nearby, second and third for them. Reagan Parent going to roll off P4. Dale Glessner and Ryan Messer going to round out the first six-pack here in tonight's qualifying.
Yeah, some of the usual suspects up top, but we got our Daytona winner, Evan Bollier, starting in 7th. Keith Lord, he's had a couple good runs this year, starting in 8th as the trucks begin to roll off the grid. Pretty cool having them situated there facing the fans there, but row number 5, Jason Ricker and Brent Roy, and then we got Zane Farrell and Jeffrey Bradway rounding out the top dozen. Bradway looking for a solid run as well.
That 62 truck piloted by Adam Henry going to roll off P13. Steve Daddio, reigning champ, in the 99 truck going to roll off P14. Colby Burkholder, Cody LeBlanc there in 15th and 16th. Corey Casagrande going to roll off P17. And Brandon Newhouse back in the field this evening, going to roll off P18.
Interesting to see the early pace setter Steven Daddio starting way back in the middle of the pack today. That's way back for him. But here's the next 6: Eric Kern, Ryan Salvatore. Our Sal just pulled off a podium finish last week. He starts 20th tonight. John Miller, Dan Winter, Jared Adams, Austin Belkey. A lot of drivers to watch out for as we continue on into this race.
30-plus drivers showing up to qualify here this evening. Jeffrey Brown going to roll off P25. Michael Hopkins there, 26. Joe Dwyron, Scott McDonald, Brent Bickerstaff, Brian Shipp, tonight's sponsor here tonight. Bobby Shipp in a 31 car, and Kyle Casagrande going to round out the 32 truck field. BSR 100, Brian Shipp Racing jumping on board here tonight with this evening's sponsorship. 100 laps on the docket, short track tempers on the big track. We got a recipe for something a little bit spicy tonight.
Yeah, potentially. We're going to go, looks like one more lap here under yellow, so we got a lot to talk about. Things could get interesting. We're going to have to, we could see as many as 2, maybe even 3 pit stops in today's race. They're given 3 extra sets of tires. We could see them kind of split it into thirds, potentially, but you never know. We can go about a max of 40 laps. So we're going to see how this plays out, see if we can get a long green flag run going, and see, or if we might end up with yellow fever like we did towards the end of last week at Iowa Speedway. But right now, John Peters, Kenny Kibbe, they're getting ready to go. A couple past NEP champions. I see that we did end up with a personnel change with the pace car. Is now a pace truck this week after some issues with the pace car last week. So it's good to see that. We see him leading the field in that much bigger truck than the trucks that are running behind him. But those ones that are running behind him, they're going to be picking up the pace here very shortly.
You can see we are all lined up 2 by 2 all the way through, getting ready to attack the biggest track NEP has raced on in 5.5 series so far. One of the longest races here as well. 100 laps, 250 miles. I think my math is correct there. We're going to watch that pace truck make that hard left-hand turn onto the safety of pit road, and we're going to turn these drivers loose and get down to business. Green flag getting ready to fly here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the BSR 100. We're green.
Yeah, there's Barney waving that green flag pretty vigorously as we go under daylight for the time being. John Peters filing out to the outside line, but Ryan Libby diving low under Kenny Kibbe to take second, and now he's going to set his sights on Peters very early on as they head onto the backstretch. Seems like we got them all situated. A little bit of jockeying for position there among racers, especially in the mid pack. But the front few, they've gotten their way into single file formation already.
Peters, Libby, Kibbe, P1, 2, 3 as they run right now, heading into 3 and 4, going to cross the stripe and gain that lap. Oh, I'm a little bit turned around. No, we're in 3 and 4. Just kidding. Going to come out of turn number 4 for the very first time. John Peters going to. Oh no, they're in 1 and 2. Multiple screens, multiple setups. We're still trying some things here at VidaneTV. Great speed shot though down on the bottom of the racetrack. These guys just thundering on by, and you can already see it's kind of settled out just a little bit up front. Front 5, 6, 7 cars or so. Trucks. Front 5 or 6 trucks or so have pretty much gotten single file. They're a little side by side back outside the or just inside rather the top 10. Keith Lord, Brent Roy side by side for position.
Yeah, although you can see on the scoring up top, you can see how many positions someone has picked up, how many they've lost there, and the little notation to the right side of their truck numbers. Brent Roy getting on the apron there a little bit, gets a little out of shape, and Keith Lord's going to take advantage, and looks like he's going to take that spot. I think that's within the top 10 for sure. And yeah, a lot of hungry drivers now ready to pounce, including Steven Daddio, started mid-pack, but he's already working himself towards the top 10.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks where if you get yourself off rhythm a little bit by either getting the yellow line or the apron just a little bit, it's going to knock your focus right out from underneath you. And you can see that may very well have been what happened to the 26 truck as he's up on the high side. Ricker in the 9 truck able to get down by. Daddio still trying to get by there in that 99 down on the bottom side. Going to try and follow Ricker on through there. 14 of Farrell up in the mix as well. You see Jeffrey Bradway in the 13 truck. He's in the 13th position, just trying to break his way into the bottom half of the top 10.
Yeah, he's hoping that 13 can be lucky this week as he does he's already making some moves there. We see Cody LeBlanc in the 7NH. Oh, Brent Roy going to the apron again. Wow, I don't know what happened there. That held up LeBlanc there, who is one of the drivers to watch. He's had some good runs at Charlotte in the past, so he's looking to kind of shake some bad luck the early part of the season. But there's a driver that has really good luck right there on the screen. The 12, Ryan Salvatore, our Sal's been able to get by Brent Roy. He's had a couple top 5 finishes this year, but we've got a lead change up front.
Indeed we do. Ryan Libby going to slip on into the number 1 spot. Ooh, John Peters up into the outside wall just a little bit. There you can see clips the apron, trying to hold on to that second position. Kenny Kibbe all over the back bumper of that 09 truck, and the 4 has some company in behind.
Yeah, definitely a lot of great racing going on here. Towards the front of the field, Libby's pulling away, but there's an intense battle here going on for second spot. Kibbe underneath Peters, Reggie Parent trying to follow. There's Glessner in the 10 and the 1 of Ryan Messer. All of them racing for that runner-up spot at the moment. We nearly went 3 wide there. The trial was probably not a place to do that. So everyone seemed to think a little better of it. Ooh, the 17 and 09 nearly touched. Peters slipping back a little bit early on.
Yeah, Reggie doing everything he can in that 17 truck to get up towards the front. Now he's going to try and challenge Libby for the lead. That 10 truck at Dale Glessner quietly in the top 5 all evening long so far. Can't cease to mention that 10 truck fastest in happy hour. Quickest truck in practice here, so 10 definitely has a little bit of speed. And how about Ryan Messer, VidaneTV's Iron Man there, quietly in the 6th position, right up in the mix with these guys. A little bit of a gap on back to the Evan Bollier-led group. That's 7th on back, about back to 11th right there in one group.
Yeah, definitely. Once again, a lot of moving around here. People looking for just looking for a hole to try to get by there. There's Keith Lord in the 17. Having a good run right now in the top 10, trying to see if he can find a way by Evan Boyer, but right now he's going to settle into that position. He's got Steven Daddio behind him, as well as Zane Farrell. A lot of drivers looking to do something on the outside there. Jeffrey Bradway seems to be making that work in the 13, but you can quickly run out of spot. Bradway's been real aggressive so far at the start of this race. Now he's pulling inside of the 99 Steven Daddio. And he's going to see what. Ooh! Now he's going to get. He saves it, but that was a close one right there. Maybe getting a little aggressive a little too early.
And I've been in that situation before in the old sim rig. That was that was a racing deal. The truck got loose or it got tight. You can see he did it again in the 13 truck, but he was trying to hold on to it, not wreck the truck, and it just started drifting up the racetrack, and you're just screaming at the monitor, just trying not to wreck anybody. I've been there. That's not a good situation to be in. You can see having to back up just a few positions, being scored in the 18th spot right now. you can bet they're going to try and make some adjustments on that 13 truck if they end up making it down pit road.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, it seems like he's just been trying different lines and stuff, so I don't know if it's the truck that's handling bad or if it's he just got a little anxious there and got a little loose. But here we see middle of the pack. Corey Casagrande, just off the screen. There's the 29 of Colby Burkholder, our South battling with him. There's Mike Hopkins, I think he had a good top 10 run last week. I'm trying to remember back to last week. But they're currently running a little like mid towards further back in the pack. And a lot of laps to go. Still, everyone, as far as I can tell, that's on the racetrack is still on the lead lap. It looks like we have Brent Bickerstaff that went off the track there for a moment. But right now, everyone's still doing their thing. Ryan Libby still out front, but Reggie Parent up to second, and he's going to try to find his way towards the front.
And you can see that 17 truck kind of drifting up the track just a little ways, going to gather it back up, and Kenny Kibbe tucking right into the tire tracks. And well, you see those 17 chrome numbers and you think RFK, and how exciting is it for all of us up here in the Northeast to see Ryan Preece signing with RFK to run the 60 car next year. Spoiler alert if anybody has been under a rock, but pretty cool to see big time short racing drivers doing big things in the Cup Series next year.
For sure, good to see him getting some more opportunities. Yeah, you never know when it's your last race when you get to those NASCAR levels. It takes a lot of backing to do what you do there in the top levels of NASCAR. So cool to see Ryan Preece continuing to keep on that short track racing modified legacy of his at the highest level, and it'll be excited to see him in Daytona. But right now we're at Charlotte, and once again, Reggie Parent, Kenny Kibbe, they're keeping up with Ryan Libby, and we got a battle for fourth there. It looked like something going on there. It looks like that is Ryan Messer making some moves as he goes under Dale Glessner. He's into the top 5 for the first time tonight. John Peters still holding strong there in the 09 in 6th spot. Home race for a handful of these folks. I think John Peters still calls North Carolina home right now. So, although he's originally from Maine. So it's, home race for some people like myself, living only 45 minutes from the track. So, even if this thing goes late, I'll just have a simple drive home tonight, Paul.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And there's always some great places to eat right around Charlotte as well. I've been noticing there's a lot of cookouts, and man, have I become a fan of cookout. And it's not because they pay us or anything. They definitely should. I mean, that would be kind of neat. Look at the push from the 17 to the back bumper, the 4.
Yeah.
They must be on the way to cookout.
Yeah, it's a little different there. It's to do something like that at Charlotte, but yeah, you might be right. I mean, the thing is, there's 2 lanes at the cookout drive-through, so I don't know why they're one's pushing the other. But yeah, if you're anxious and hungry for some good food, that's probably what they're doing. But right now, Kenny Kibbe's he was able to get around Reggie Parent, and now he's holding them off, and now he's going to set his sights on Ryan Libby. And yeah, once again, we got the Libby and Kibbe show out front. And there's Brandon Uhouse back with us again in the 3, the Uhouse Racing Designs truck. We did give him plenty of publicity last week because we had quite a few replays to show, even though you were kind of doing your thing in the remote production truck. But right now, Brandon Uhouse back with us after a week off, and he's kind of sailing his way through the field here. And he's approaching a top 10 position.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he's leading that gaggle of trucks right now in that 3YRD truck. He's outside the top 10 right now, but he can see the top 10 right in front of that windshield. Currently running in 9th, has a handful of drivers in behind. We saw the graphic a few moments ago. Mike Hopkins is in this mix as well. That 78 truck so far is the biggest mover. He's gained himself 11 spots so far on the night, and he's got a pair of 7s up in front of him, the 7CT and the 7NH of the Casagrande brothers. And there you see Ryan Salvatore there in the 12 truck having a solid run just outside the top 10.
Yeah, we do. I think we have 3 7s in the field today, and we're not in Vegas though, so there's no 777s, just a couple of them running together right now. But we got another battle going on. Ryan Messer moving his way through the field, getting by Reggie Parent for 3rd. Have to wonder if some of these trucks are falling off, if they're a little ill handling, or if potentially they're just saving their stuff. I mean, we could have up to a 40 lap run. That's around how much they could make it on fuel. They do have 3 extra sets of tires, though, so it'll be interesting to see if anyone decides to short pit, try to do something creative under green. Pit strategy is really going to come in handy this evening. I mean, that's the right call in the pits box. Might be what wins it. It has won it every single time we've been here at Charlotte in past years. So, of course, we're running with a different race length. And while I'm talking away, we had a lead change as Kibby has gone by Libby. Libby's not giving up, though.
Yeah, Kibby and Libby following each other around the racetrack. There you can see there on the left-hand side of your screen. That's going to be the best lap times all the way on the far left, or on the far right, rather, and then the last lap time. So you can see these drivers falling off about 4/10 all the way up to about a half a second a lap. So you got to wonder, we're just about a quarter of the distance in this one. Do you try and split this into maybe a one-stop race and come down right around lap 50 near that halfway marker? Do you try and make it a two-tire or a two-stop race? Because at this point in time, you don't really want to try and bank on any cautions because we've been clean and green throughout the entirety of this one, and we're relatively spread out throughout the field. Everybody kind of minding their P's and Q's, lots of give and take. We're single file there for the front 4, front 8 trucks or so, a little bit further on back. So it's one of those deals, and we did see in practice, a lot of these drivers did come down and take a little bit extra time during the final happy hour to practice those green flag pit stops. So gotta wonder if that's going to be a factor in this one, as you can see Kyle Casagrande holding off a gaggle of trucks in behind him.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of issues on pit road this year, so hopefully everyone's been practicing what they do best. And yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a big stretch to make it on one stop, but I think we'll see at least 2. If we get cautions falling different ways, maybe 3. But we shall see. Right now, though, one driver that's capitalizing on this long run is Austin Belke in the 24, as he's moving up through the field. Kind of what we see most weeks. He kind of starts in the second half of the field, and makes his way up in the field in a very smart fashion. Joey Dwyron doing the same thing. He was our big winner last week at Iowa, kind of pulling out the breakthrough NEP victory. He's had to move his way from the back of the pack in that in the number 73 Bluey truck, and he gets a little loose there in the corner too. So once again, like you said, some of these drivers might be getting a little anxious to come down pit road eventually here, rather than stretch it, just so that they can get some fresh tires and also make some much needed adjustments. There you see Hopkins down. Oh, we got a yellow flag.
Indeed we do. Caution flag gonna fly. Oh, Keith Lord is blown up. There's big time problems with that motor, bud. We're gonna take a look at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay and see if we can take a peek at it. There you see it. Ow, hard into the outside wall. We'll back that up and zoom in just a little bit so we can get a little better peek at it. But big time contact between the 17 and the 9 of Jason Ricker, and we'll take a look at it again. Not entirely sure. There we go. Boom, right into the outside wall. So tough to kind of tell what happened, if they just got real close, if something may or may not have broke on the 17 truck, because you can see did definitely hit the apron a little bit, so it might have upset the truck a bit. But that was up towards the top 10 too. So that's a tough situation to be in.
Yeah, that's a tough break right there. Kind of looked like one of those racing deals. I don't know if you can really entirely fault either one of them. Obviously, like you said, Lord got a bit. The truck got like it got a little upset there, got him right near down the apron, but he couldn't go any higher because the 9 was right there, and then the 9 did move up, and then they still connected. So, yeah, tough break right there, and that might be the end of the evening, or an end of a good run for the 17 of Lord. I had a feeling we might see almost all the trucks come down pit road this time by. This is the first of 3 sets of tires that they have. So here we go. We're going to see, let's see if anyone takes on 2 tires, fuel, or 4 tires. It's going to be busy here momentarily.
Yeah, this will be the Whiplash Cams camera angle of the night. Great job by AC4. This is going to be money. This is going to tell us who's going to win this race, I feel, because we are going to have a couple of pit stops, and they're going to be as important as the racing on track. So You can see a couple of two-tire stops already down and away. So drivers stopping for two tires and fuel, going to elect to keep some of those tires down on pit roads. Everybody else towards the back, though, they're going to be taking 4 tires as they all thunder off pit road. And just a quarter distance into this one, still got a long way to write the ending of this fairy tale.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see how they all line up on for this restart. I think that was John Peters that was still on pit road, so I don't know if there's an issue with the 09 there. He continues to run on pit road, so not a good. John Peters is one of those that usually has some really quick pit stops. So he's going to have to come from back in the pack now. Kenny Kibbe and Ryan Libby, nothing new there out front for sure. Ryan Messer and Regan Parent coming out third and fourth, kind of like how we left off. So, but now we'll see if anyone made adjustments. As we usually see with Charlotte, we might see some changes in track conditions as well. I'm not sure if we're gonna be in total darkness before this race is over, kind of like we saw at Iowa last week. There's a lot to still figure out as we go along. We still got 70 laps remaining.
Yeah, as we get around parade laps, single file gives these drivers kind of an opportunity to make the adjustments inside the sim rig, inside the truck, and mentally as well, kind of re-prepare. You've got yourself 2 tires or 4 tires or whatever you ended up looking at. As I take a look at timing and scoring, which you can follow along if you punch in VidaneTV/scoring. Shows you pit stop times, lap times, all sorts of information that we have access to up here in the production booth. And it looks like everybody's in the 14, 15-second time as far as pit stop length goes. So it looks like everybody did, in fact, take 4 tires. And that's one of those deals. We kind of saw the laps fall off just a little bit, about a half second or so, as we got 20 to 25 laps into this one. So these drivers, I don't want to say they're going to try to expect to come down maybe in 25 more laps, and again with 25 to go, but not normally something that we have to worry about planning here in an NEP race, because usually there's no tires on pit road. We come down for some fuel and let it rip. So fuel strategy, tire strategy, definitely going to be a factor in this 100-lapper.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see if or how the cautions fall for the remainder of this race. And once again, all thanks for the scoring reminder, by the way, too. I didn't have it up on my screen so for this week. So that's a good reminder. Now I got it up, and we'll be looking for some different interesting stats. The biggest mover so far from the start of the race right now is Mike Hopkins. He has moved from 26th starting spot up to 12th. So great job by Mike Hopkins so far. We'll see if he can continue pulling that off and moving towards the front for the restart, as the field has doubled up, as we're going to get ready to go here very shortly.
Yeah, and you made mention it's getting dark here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. One of the things that these drivers, not sure why we're in metric. Let's switch that back over. Shazam, there we go. 76 degrees, track temp 81 degrees, a little bit of a southwesterly breeze there, 5-6 miles an hour, a little bit humid, not too crazy. But we've heard Corey Casagrande and the race officials talk before. When these guys run practice on Tuesdays, usually weekly, the time of day at the track is usually morning, early afternoon. Then when we get into qualifying, it gets into the late afternoon, and then race time, it's usually evening. So the track does change just a little bit. And it seems like there's a handful of drivers that are able to kind of adapt to those changes a little bit quicker than some of the other drivers. But as we get these long races, we get a little bit more heat in the tires, a little bit more laps under our belts. We're able to kind of figure out where we're going for the end of them. And that's where the pace car driver's going. He's going to figure out a corn dog and a Coke. And we're going to get a green flag here with 69 laps to go, and a bit of a jump there for the 4 truck at Kibbe. We'll see if that one stands. Everything looking good side by side behind them.
Yeah, he was the one that set the pace, though, so it looks like it's going to work out. Ryan Messer there running in second now in the number 1. The inside line got that advantage and continues on onto the backstretch here. And, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this continues to shake out. Evan Boyer, we haven't really seen him in the top 5 yet tonight. And here he comes in the 56. 99 is Steven Daddio's moving up. So a lot of the usual suspects starting to make their way into the fray. Into this one, Charlotte. Oh, look at that! Some rubber getting out of the groove, getting kicked up there. I saw, so that was interesting too. But right now, Kibbe continuing to lead. He's the rest of the competitors. They're not letting him get away though.
Yeah, for the most part, all single file, and these drivers know that if they run the trucks hard for 25 laps, they're going to slow down. Oh, the 7 truck of Kyle Casagrande pointed in the wrong direction, going down in through. Check that. That's Cody LeBlanc, the 7 NH truck. We are still green. Imagine that. Able to save it, going to lose all that track position. Let's see if we can do the U-House Racing Designs instant replay under green flag conditions. Follow along with that 7 truck just up to the outside wall. Hopkins into the back bumper, nowhere to go. And you can see that's one more spot for Hopkins, but unfortunate for Cody LeBlanc in that 7 truck. But great heads-up driving, able to hold on to that truck. And you can see still out there barely on the lead lap, P29 right now.
Yeah, he's going to try to recover. And, yeah, you don't want to be your that quarter-mile Legends track in the trial was pretty cool. But I don't think right now you're going to be wanting to run on that course right at the moment. So he did a little slide job there and down through the grass and down pit road, and he's going to get back going and try to stay on the lead lap in this one. But meanwhile, up front, we still got some great battles going on here. Zane Farrell getting into the mix here, running in the 7th spot. Ryan Libby there on the outside, getting to the outside of Kibbe. And now we got a new leader yet again. Reagan Parent in the 17 is now the new leader. We've had 4 or 5 different leaders so far today. A lot of racing going on for sure. And you were talking about it with the changing conditions, sun starting to set. But these guys are used to it. Most of these guys are short trackers. They're used to these one-day shows. So yeah, right now they set their trucks up to handle in all the best they can in the certain conditions and when it comes down to the wire. But right now, Ryan Libby chasing down Reagan Parent. I got both names mixed up there for a second. But Reagan Parent using the high side there. Libby using a slightly lower line there in the 46. But right now, he doesn't have an opening to try to get to the top spot. He's going to file there, tucked in behind that truck deck lid of the 17.
Yeah, it took the words right out of my mouth. The top 3 drivers running 3 completely different lines all the way around the race. Well, for the most part around the racetrack. In the corners, they seem to kind of fan out. On the back straightaway, they're up against the outside wall. New leader once again. There's a little slide job action. How about it for the 46 of Libby? Going to move on up in front of the 17 truck of Parent. And we'll see if Parent's going to tuck into the tire tracks. It looks like he's going to try and maybe take a peek. No, he's going to be in the tire tracks, at least for the time being. Going to hold on to that 2nd spot right now. Kenny Kibbe there in 3rd. Ryan Messer right on the back bumper. A little bit further on back to Polier in 5th. And you can see Ryan Salvatore still moving forward. He's breaking his way into the top 10. He's down low underneath the Brandon U-House machine. That's going to put the 12th truck in 9th.
Yeah, Arcel's having a career season for sure. I think he's 3rd in points. I should know that for sure because he's the one that sends us those stats at the end of the night. But right now he's had a great start. Dwyron drifting up there. U-House had to check up a little bit. Now that allows Belke to get to the inside. Hopkins going to try to follow through. And there's Johnny Miller. First time we've talked about him in the 6 truck, running mid-pack right now, trying to make his way towards the front as well.
Little mixing and matching and beating and banging here in the second half of the top 10, just outside there, the top 10 as well. Mike Hopkins in the 78 running in 13th. I made mention Belke just outside the top 10. He's in 12th. Joey Dwyron there in 11th. Corey Casagrande holding on to that 10th spot as they run. And you can see we're maybe 10 or so laps into this stretch on this set of tires. I think these drivers, as I say that, Corey Casagrande going to take a look down on the bottom side in that Casagrande Builder 7 CT truck. They're going to kind of remember how the tires fell off in that run before, because we're 9 laps or so, maybe 8 laps from that halfway marker. So are you still trying to save, or are you going to try and get everything you can out of this set of tires?
Yeah, I don't know. I think this stage of the race, they can kind of see what their truck has. And especially because you're going to need to plan for what you have when we get to about 10 or 15 laps to go in this races. We got a truck that was slow there entering the tri-oval. I'm not sure who that was, but everyone's able to get by without issue. As we ride with Joey Dwyer right now in the 73, he's going to dip slightly lower than into Corey Casagrande, but we got a yellow, and the trucks are going to slow down once again, closing in on halfway. We'll see if we get if we have more pit stops or if it's a little too early for that.
Indeed, we will. There's the 007 of Kyle Casagrande. He's going to call for the tow truck. Night may be done. Oof, that was a big hit. That was a monster hit for the 007. We'll see if we can get a better, little bit closer camera angle on that one. Keep an eye on the 7 truck. 81 right in behind. They come into the tri-oval. Everything looks good. And there is a giant sign in front of what happened. That's just like real life. I used to get mad at iRacing when they would put stuff in front of the camera angles like that, thinking that there's no way that they possibly would. Then I became a camera guy and realized that's the most realistic thing about the sim. But in any sense, here's another angle of the calamity, and there's issue is already happening up in front. The 21 truck around. There's a big monster hit where the that pit exit there, where there's no safety wall on that. We'll see if we can back it up one more time, take a look at why Aaron Kern was pointed in the wrong direction, and it looks like it might have been a little bit of contact between he and the 82 as we back it up. Nope, up under the outside wall. Gathers it back up. Oh.
Yeah, it's a slower truck.
Okay. Completely missed that. That was
So I think that was the slower truck we saw kind of entering the tri-oval earlier when the leaders went by, and Brent Bickerstaff's running several laps down. I don't know if he's been having some issues this evening, but was trying to kind of nurse it home. But it seems like, he gets on the apron, getting ready to come down pit road, it looks like, and then decided not to. And there we go. We got another big sign in the way. There's the leaders going by, but then I guess the 21 kind of had nowhere to go. The 53 got a bit loose there at the stripe.
No, I think that's the new VidaneTV bonehead of the move of the week. I don't really understand what that is. You should have gotten down pit road there. I wonder if this is maybe a receipt for somebody in this second group, because you can see very obviously took a shot. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. I feel like there's more to that story.
Yeah, I don't know if it was for the right person either. Not really sure if it was for that, if it was for the right person, or if Eric Kern was just the unlucky one, and then even unluckier one was Kyle Casagrande getting swept up in that by none of his doing. So tough break there, but we'll sort it out here under yellow and get back going shortly.
Yeah, we gather it back up. You can see there's a random Dollar General in the infield. How about that? That's kind of neat. Those things pop up everywhere, it seems like. And we don't mention it because they pay us, because they don't. They should, but I digress. Ryan Libby up front, Reagan Parent there in second, Kenny Kibbe running in third, Dale Glessner, Ryan Salvatore. How about RSal TV breaking into the top 5 here tonight and having himself a solid run? Corey Casagrande, Mike Hopkins having a good run there in 7th, Austin Belke, Colby Burkholder, and Adam Henry. Currently the top 10 as they run. A couple of cautions here tonight, but all in all, not a bad race so far.
Yeah, not too bad at all. And I don't think we didn't really see anyone come down pit road there, did we? I was wondering if it was going to be a little bit too early for that. But right now we still have the usual front runners towards the front, but we got a mix of drivers that are kind of doing their thing. Corey Casagrande up to 6th. I think we did see a handful of drivers come down pit road. Evan Boyer, Steve Daddio, they're a little further back in the field now. So we'll see. This kind of mix things up for the restart as well once we get back going.
Yeah, just look at the timing and scoring here. It looks like the top 10 stayed out. Everybody else came down. Zane Farrell, Joe Dwyer, and Brandon Newhouse each had a 6.3 second pit stop. So that might be fuel only. That might be 2 tires. Ryan Messer looks like he put on 4 tires with a 14-second stop. Evan Bollier, Steve Daddio, 4 tires. Johnny Miller, John Peters, Brent Roy, Dan Winters all look like they took 4 tires. Everybody else that came down looks like it might have been fuel only or 2. So Now we're starting to get into mixed strategies where there's 10 drivers out there on 20 lap old tires, and there's a bunch of drivers that are out there on 2 tires, and there's some drivers that have 4 tires, and we've still got over half the race to go in this one. So it's not quite time to go just yet, but it's definitely not quite time to sit around and wait either. The wick's starting to burn just a little bit, and it's time to get up moving towards the front.
Yeah, this is where things definitely start to get interesting. Now that we have drivers on different strategies now. Some of the drivers we've seen up front most of this race, like Kibby, Libby, Parent, deciding to stay out, and we're going to see how this all works out. If there's another yellow in the second half of the race, how that falls. If we go a long green flag run and we end up with the yellow with 15 or 20 laps to go, yeah, that could throw any strategy out the window, and they'll all come down hungry for new tires. So, but the thing is, with 15, if we went like the next 40 laps under green, these drivers that are in the top 10 right now, they might not be able to make it during that run, because they've been out on these tires and fuel for a few laps now. As we're getting ready to go back to green, it's going to be Libby and Parent on the front row. Looks like Libby's going to get the advantage there in the 46 once again. Parent's going to stay with him, though, heading into turn 1.
Front 4 drivers get them all sorted out. They are single file as they head on into 1 and 2. Corey Casagrande, the new 5th place truck, as Arcel slides on back to P6. They got it almost all single file there. You see the 4 truck going to dip back in there, and this is one of those deals, like we made mention, Hopkins up into the top 10. Once again, these guys in the top 10 have those older tires, so they don't really want to go side by side and wear up the equipment right now. They want to kind of hold on to what they've got and see if they can make it to the next pit stop without falling into the clutches of some of these cats with fresher tires. You can see getting a little bit dicey back, mid-pack on back. The 62 of Henry going to go all the way up to the outside of the racetrack. He's going to let Dwyron by in that bluey machine down on the bottom side. Here comes Messer in the 1 truck. Remember, he's the first truck with fresh tires all the way around on that 1 truck, and you can see he's closing right into the back bumper of that 73.
Yeah, tires are always important when we go to most of these tracks. He's doing his thing there on the outside, being able to make it work, but right now he's going to file, looks like, no, I was going to say he's going to file in behind Dwyer in there, but nope, he's going to head to the outside once again and use that momentum there on the outside line in the backstretch, head into turn number 3 as we see the sun's going down as Messer closes in on the next one. I think that's Zane Farrell in the 14, running behind the 29 of Colby Burkholder. So a lot going on right here, a lot of things to settle. We're approaching, we're going ahead of 180 miles per hour into these turns. And Messer, once again, making that outside line work.
He's making those tires work. He made it look like Zane was sitting still on those fresh 4 tires. Feeling like Superman for sure. You can see the 1 truck doing a great job slicing through the field. And this is almost one of those things I could say that Messer may very well have planned. Just because we see him on the sim so much. He races a lot in real life. Been around the block a time or two. And he kind of saw the first half of this race with these long green flag stops, it spreads everybody out. If you get fresh tires and you've got 10, 12 guys with no tires, you're going to be able to watch those guys get spread out in a matter of 5 laps. And you can see right now cherry picking positions one by one as he gets around the 2-4 of Belke. Now he's going to get onto the back bumper of Mike Hopkins. He's going to make quick work of him. He's going to go down to the bottom side. Now he's going to set his sights on the back bumper of that 12 truck, Orion Salvatore.
Yeah, Messer's one of those drivers that he's been in the contention this year a lot. And but he's really hungry to get a win in that number 1. So I know he was a contender for the championship last season, and he'd like to get that first NEP title. Right now, he's going to pull to the inside of Arcel now, so he's now he's slicing and dicing his way. Was using the outside line before, now he's using the inside as they head into the tri-oval and out of it. And right now, Messer is the driver on the move in the number 1. He's going to set his sights next on Corey Casagrande.
Overall, biggest mover still going to be that Hopkins ride in the 78, 17 spots gained for Mike, and Ryan Salvatore right in behind. he and Belke have 13 positions gained. Casagrande and Dwyron both up 12. As you can see, Messer now taking a peek down low on Corey Casagrande in the 7CT ride, and he's got 2 or 3 more positions right up in front of that one truck. Don't look now, Ryan Messer's in 5th.
Yeah, he's continuing to move his way up, but now he's got a couple running side by side right in front of him, though. So which lane do you pick now? Kenny Kibbe to the inside, Dale Glessner to the outside. It's hard to pick which one because both of them are so competitive, and I think he's going to just have to ride here and hope that he picks the right lane, and he might just have as they go into the tri-oval here. Kibbe's going to get the advantage on Glessner. Messer's going to try to follow through, but it's getting pretty close here as they head into turn 1. Glessner's not giving up any track position, any track space right there. And Kibbe gets loose. Look like they got a loose out of the turn. Messer's going to take advantage and try to go 3 wide.
Oh, he's not trying. There they go. 3 wide, 4 position. Ryan Messer in that one truck. You could hear how long Messer was off the throttle, getting into the corners, how much quicker that truck is on 4 fresh tires. Behind the 10, behind the 4, behind the 99 there of Daddio. Messer's up to 3rd. He's taking a look on the high side now. I think this one truck may, I don't want to say won the race here with that coming down pit road here because, well, he's going to get down into 2nd, and I think it's just going to be a matter of time before he gets up around that 46 truck to take over the lead. But it's one of those deals. I think he's one of maybe 3 trucks that came down to get 4 tires. Do the other drivers pay attention to that? Are we going to see somebody try and come down here maybe with 20, 30 laps to go and just be that much quicker than these trucks on older tires, as you can see Messer to the point?
That is a great question, which I do not know the answer to. But Daddio continued to move his way to the front, too. He's going to try to follow Messer as they go by Libby. I guess these fresher tires are starting to work out a little bit now. Libby and Parent starting to slip back as they were the ones that did not pit on this last yellow. Messer and Daddio now out front. Some new players at the front of the field. We'll see how this continues on, though, as we're going to have in a couple laps. We'll have only 40 laps to go. We're well within the second third of this race now, and some drivers still sorting things out there behind them. Brent Roy, we haven't talked much about in the 26. He's right in the mix here as Kibbe continues to fall back, as that inside line doesn't seem to be working. Don't look now. How did John Peters get back up there? He is right there in the mix as well.
So just looking at the winglets, timing and scoring, these are some drivers that came down. Brett Roy, one of them, he's trying to get around the 10 and the 4. He's going to do it around the high side, up where the rubbles are. The 26 going to get on around. John Peters tries to follow him up and around, but the door gets closed. But in this group, Brent Roy, John Peters, it looks like, Evan Bollier, John Miller, all came down and the same lap as Daddio and Messer to get those tires. So they've got 15-lap fresher tires than everybody else, and you can see just how much that's affecting these drivers, because we did see earlier on Brent Roy was struggling with the handling of that truck and very easily just sliced on up through the field. He's got around the 17 truck. He's going to take a peek down low on the 46. He's going to move on to a podium spot. He's going to bring John Peters with him.
Wow, how about that? Definitely the deck is shuffling right now for sure, and I have a feeling it's not even close to done. As right now I have a feeling Libby and Parent, a couple of those other drivers, they are hoping for a yellow flag any lap now. But right now we've had a lot of long green flag runs in this race, none long enough to really see any green flag pit stops. That's the big question. Could we see them have to come down for a green flag pit stop, and then they're going to have to beg for a yellow not to come out to get back into the right sequence and not fall a lap down? So a lot still to be settled, as we're now under 40 laps to go. Libby and Parent, they're still not, they're not out to lunch right now. They've slipped back a few spots, but they're still running right there in the top 10. Right there with the competitors. The front two, they're the ones pulling away though. Messer and Daddio, they have checked out for the time being.
Yeah, putting on a bit of a clinic here, and you can see they've given themselves a little bit of breathing room with those fresher tires, and that's one of the big advantages here is they're not racing each other very hard. They don't have to deal with any lap traffic or anything right now. They are running about a full second slower than their best lap times, but they're out in fresh air, and with these fresher tires, they're starting to kind of wear out and even out to where everybody else is at, but they've been able to gain those positions. The front five right now, Messer, Daddio, Roy, Peters, and Bollier, all those drivers came down under caution that last time by, so they were able to kind of drive up through the field. Everybody else is on 36, 35 lap old tires, and you can see they're kind of struggling here. These guys were battling out for the lead maybe 10, 15 laps ago, but right now they're 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and just trying to hold on for that next either caution or, like you said, green flag pit stop, because as we get close to 30 laps to go, I really think that's the key number for these tires. You can see Johnny Miller. Oh, how about that? I love it when these guys prove me right. Green flag pit stops. How about it?
Yeah, here we go. But that's not good for the 46
No.
Ryan Libby. He wipes out there coming down pit road. We've seen that, it seems like at least once every race this year, that we've had some kind of issue on miscue on pit road. That's going to cost him a lot of time, and it could cost him enough track position where he could get caught a lap down before this is all said and done. So we'll have to see how that happens. Ryan Libby's had a very good start to this season, as opposed to the last few seasons where he had just nothing but bad luck, especially at the first half of the season. So right now, he's kind of continuing to do his thing. Ryan Messer doing his thing in the number 1. He doesn't have to pit for a while if he doesn't want to, because he came in that last yellow. Same with Steven Daddio. So those are drivers, they can stay out. Maybe a yellow will catch some of those other drivers a lap down, and they're going to probably bank on that happening potentially. We've seen them, the yellow flags, the only 2 that we've had so far, kind of fall in kind of strategic spots. So once again, coming down the strategy.
Yeah, 100%. And it's one of those deals, too. You don't want to come down pit road right away, but you don't want to stay out there too long, because now it's been 23 laps since these drivers have all come down. They're on those 20-lap older tires, and that's when the trucks really start to slow down. So do you risk being out on track that long and not wasting, but losing that much time each and every lap to those leaders? I mean, obviously, if we do in fact get a caution flag before the checkered flag, that's going to bunch everybody up and reset the strategy. But it's one of those deals you really have to kind of plan for it without actually knowing the outcome of either way. And it's one of the reasons I'm really happy to be up in the booth and not behind the wheel of one of these sim rigs.
Yeah, that's for certain. And, the way you were kind of explaining that, I thought we were nearing closing time potentially, because you were gonna. It's kind of was like, well, you can't. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And I guess that's what we're talking about with pit road or whatever. But Ryan Messer right now he's checking out for the time being. We'll see what he does in the number 1 here in the coming laps. I have a feeling these drivers, they pitted just prior to halfway, if I'm remembering correctly. So I think they'll have to pit at some point here in the next 10 laps or so. But yeah, that the closing rate for kind of Kibbe on Brandon Newhouse, that was something right there. As Kibbe's going to catch this battle in front of him, though, Zane Farrell and Brian Ship. Ship are our sponsor of the race in that number 48 Slingers machine. And his finishes, now he's finished 23rd, 18th, and 15th in his past starts. So he's steadily improved in that number 48, and he has continued to this season. Right now he's slipping back, unfortunately, but once again, it's not over till it's over here at Charlotte.
That's exactly it. Just taking a look at that 4-car truck slice through the field on those fresh tires. A lap down. First truck 1 lap down is that 4 truck of Kenny Kibbe. Came down 14.4 on the pit stop. Got those 4 fresh tires and is moving his way up. New leader up front going to be Steve Daddio, as looks like we may have had a pit stop up front. Trying to catch up with that. We'll see what, Ryan Libby down on pit road, it looks like. So Daddio, Peters, Bollier, Miller, and Dwyron currently the top 5 as they run.
Yeah, a lot of a lot of different drivers up front right now. So yeah, we're going to continue to see how this shakes out. Kenny Kibbe that we were talking about earlier, he's back in 16th spot right now, or 15th, I guess you could say now. But he is a lap down right now on the track. So right now, only 14 trucks on the lead lap. Messer, though, coming in. And now this is going to shuffle all those kinds of things. I have a feeling we're going to see Daddio come in here shortly as well.
Yeah, there you see Messer coming off pit road there. Daddio still out making laps in the 99 truck, as is the 09 of Peters. Just taking a look, it looks like the top 12 all came down under that last caution 29 laps ago, and they're running about a second slower than their quick times. They've got 25 laps to go here. This is one of those deals, if you get a caution within the next 5 laps to go or so, or within the next 5 laps or so, you're golden. You're in a really, really good spot. But if it drags on and it stays green here at this point, you're losing so much time to these guys with the fresh tires, making almost 1.2 second a lap better each time. So it's one of those catch-22s. Do you stay out? Do you come in? What do you do at this point?
Yeah, I don't know. I think pretty soon you're going to have to commit, no matter what. As Steven Daddio continues to lead. He's running some pretty good lap times still, some decent ones. John Peters running in second. So, yeah, there's still a lot that can be settled here. Yeah, their last laps are, well, they are a little over a second off of what Kenny Kibbe and Regan Parent are running. So I think pretty soon we're going to see the 17 and 4 approaching them. As you do see in the corner of your screen, there's the 17. Actually, no, that's still the 09. My apologies. Kind of the same colored cars a little bit, but like what I was getting at is that we're probably gonna, if Daddio and Peters continue to stay out, we're probably going to see some of those other drivers make their way and potentially unlap themselves. So now it's playing into Regan Parent and Kenny Kibbe's hands here in the 17 and the 4 as they go by Evan Boyer, and yeah, it's I don't really know, Paul. This is all getting very interesting. This could be your battle for the lead here eventually between the 17 and the 4.
You know, I'm trying, like, I'm listening to you tell the 3 different races that we have going on within the race here, and I'm trying to make sense of it on the timing and scoring so I can know which buttons and which cameras to push. I'm lost. There's a lot going on in this race. There's tire strategy, fuel strategy. Some guys are still kind of struggling with the handling of the trucks, but they're making the best of it with these pit stops. We made mention Brent Roy, not too thrilled to be on the cookie cutters, 1.5 miles, but making the best out of it with his pit stops. Currently just outside the top 10 in 12th, but there's a lot of different strategies going on here with 22 laps to go, and we made mention the front 7 drivers. They all are on 30-lap old tires, so that shuffling of the deck you made mention, Bollier down on pit road as the leader. Looks like I don't know if he wanted to come down pit road, but here he is.
Yeah, Bollier coming down, the Daytona winner in the 56, and we'll see once again how this is all going to shake out. If he's going to be able, if he lost too much track position. I mean, the 17 and the 4 went by him already, so that means that they're probably going to be pretty far ahead of the 56 when the 56 gets back out here, unless he tries something creative here, maybe like a 2-tire stop or something. But I don't know if that's going to happen. Here comes Johnny Miller in the 6 coming down pit road, so he's going to relinquish the lead. And we're going to be cycling back to where we started here very shortly, as I think Dan Winter's coming down as well. That might be Brian Shipp, actually. I can't really tell. Both of those cars are blue. There's Shipp. He's still on the racetrack, so I think that was Dan Winter. But there you see Bollier coming back onto the track. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting see how this all sorts out going into the final stretch of this race.
Yeah, so there you see Brian Shipp in the 48 truck. He is leading. There's Bollier, was leading, came down pit road. Bollier just getting his lap back the hard way, driving on through, just trying to see on timing and scoring where that 56 truck is scored. Back in 20th. So still 25 or so drivers that could potentially be on the lead lap once we cycle on through. But how about this? This is the first time I think we've seen it in NEP history that the Ship Boys, P1 and P2.
How about that? Good job for Brian and Bobby Ship right now. Bobby actually the one. Well, no, he's running in second. Brian in first. I think Brian's just trying to get some mention since this is his sponsored race. I don't know, but right now they're trying to stay up front, hoping that some kind of interesting yellow flag perhaps comes out. Although I don't know if that's going to help them too much because right now we've got 20 trucks on the lead lap, back to having 20 trucks on the lead lap. So we'll see what happens here. Brian Ship continuing out front in the lead, but they're running laps times that are over 32 seconds, which is almost 2 seconds slower than what drivers like Messer and Daddio have been running. So right now they're going to have their work cut out for him. Jeffrey Brown was actually running in third though he now comes down pit road, so he gets a little mention as well. And yeah, a lot of drivers still in the hunt with this race for sure. Some of them that may not have had the track position were kind of gambling a little bit there, staying out for a little bit longer and hoping something might happen. But right now we're still clean and green.
Yeah, and there you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, Brian Ship last lap time was a 32.288 on 40 lap old tires. I think he's the only driver still out there on those old tires. Ryan Messer last time by the stripe was a 30.823. So second and a half quicker a lap. The one truck is on our leader right now, but why not? You're sponsoring the race. Get a little lap time out there for the BSR 100, the 48 truck. Holding on to the point. Going to get himself a couple more checks in the laps led column on the RSL-TV spreadsheets that go down in history.
Yeah, got to do what you got to do sometimes, right? Always nice to be on the stat sheet for sure. And Brian's still riding out there, but I think he's going to have to come in here soon because he might even run out of fuel. Now he's going to come down the apron and make his pit stop. So unfortunately, he's not going to get whatever he was hoping for there, and will have to come down pit road and make his pit stop. And he's really slow down pit road. I see he's heading towards his pit stall, but I don't know if he was already running out of fuel. Maybe gasping for air there before he finally came down. Back up front, there we are. There's the number one, Ryan Messer, currently running back in the lead, as he has about a second and a half lead on Kenny Kibbe. And then it's quite a bit back, about 3 seconds back to Reggie Parent, 4.5 seconds to Stephen Daddio, and then about 4.8 seconds to Clint Roy, John Peters, Dale Glatzner, Corey Casagrande, Evan Boyer, and Mike Hopkins round up top 10.
And as we take a look at the timing and scoring, we saw the 62 truck, that bright yellow truck there of Adam Henry, drive around and get his lap back the hard way throughout those pit stops, but in danger of going a lap down once again. Ryan Messer getting closer and closer to the back bumper there of the 62 truck, and we've cycled back on through, and it took about 15 to 20 laps or so, but here we are. Ryan Messer took about 15 laps since his pit stop, but he is back to the lead position rather. Second place going to go to Kenny Kibbe. Third is Steve Daddio. John Peters and Reagan Parent going to be the top 5 as they run. Brent Roy, Dale Glessner, Evan Bollier, Corey Casagrande, Mike Hopkins, the top 10. Zane Farrell on the outside looking in. And for the most part, with 12 laps to go, it looks like we're relatively spread out. I think we might be able to take this one all the way to the checkered.
I don't know. Now that you said it, I don't know. But we'll see how it all goes. And if Ryan Messer, I'm sure, is the one driver that's going to want to see this go all the way out to the checker, the way it's going right now. Messer is just kind of making his way through and doing what he needs to do. He's running pretty much the fastest lap times of anyone at the moment, and in the 30.05 second range. Steve Daddio running some quick laps too in 30.03. Evan Boyer 30.04. Daddio's actually approaching there. He goes by Kenny Kibbe, or he's going to try to. Looks like he's going to be successful at it. Gets by for second spot. I have a feeling we might be talking to Steve Daddio yet again on the podium before this night is over, but I know he wants to get up there and try to catch Ryan Messer. And I'm sorry, I was actually looking at the wrong column in the scoring. that was actually their best times that they've ran tonight. Daddy-O's actually running 30.9 lap times. Messer was about a 30.0 or 30.1 that last time by. So, I'm sorry, a 31.0, 31.1. It's been a long day, Paul.
Been a long day, been a long night, gonna be a long weekend. There's a lot going on in the real racing world, the sim racing world. One thing we do know for certain, though, less than 10 laps to go, and it's almost a 3-second lead between Ryan Messer and Steve Daddy-O. Messer having to deal with a little bit of lap traffic as you see the 62 truck getting a little bit closer and closer, but Adam Henry's still having a solid truck this evening, and shouldn't be too much of an issue. Clean air in front of him. A little bit further on back in third, John Peters holding on to that P3 spot. He's all by his lonesome. The 13 truck of Bradway a lap or two down. Kenny Kibbe holding on to the fourth spot. There you see him in the fourth truck with Brent Roy running in fifth.
Yeah, a lot of position changes still going on. It seems like every time we reset the order, it changes. But Ryan Messer's still doing his thing. He gets by Adam Henry to put him a lap down, and he's just continuing to move his way through the field. As right now, yeah, he's been running some 31.2 lap time was the last lap. Daddy-O was a couple tenths faster. So it remains to be seen what happens here. It's still a 2.5-second advantage for Ryan Messer. Henry was running in 19th, so we have 18 trucks on the lead lap. Scott McDonald, haven't mentioned him, but he's still solidly on the lead lap in 18th spot right now, having a very quiet evening. But right now, it's Ryan Messer continuing his way up front as we're going to approach 5 laps to go.
Coming on down the back straightaway, the one of Messer still has 2.3 or so seconds over Steve Daddy-O. A little bit smaller of a gap on back to second. Had to deal with that 62 truck just a little bit, but everything still pointed in the right direction. High five from Barney up in the flag stand. 5 laps to go here at Charlotte for the BSR 100. The longest race, the longest track on the docket here for NEP, and it has been a bit of a barn burger. We've had some great racing action on the racetrack, some action down on pit road, and a whole lot of strategy. A lot more strategy that I'm used to here at VidaneTV. We've had to think about pit stops and tire strategy and fuel strategy and what have you. And right now, the master of it all looks to be that one truck, Ryan Messer. He's got 4 laps to go. That cushion that he's got back onto Daddy-O in second is shrinking just a little bit, but I don't think if we stay green, I don't think Daddy-O's got enough time to catch that one truck.
They're just making it interesting for us, aren't they? But right now, yeah, I think it's Ryan Messer's race to lose. Daddy-O's trying to run, the best laps he can without slipping up, and he's really good at that at the end of these races for sure. But he still has that lap car of Adam Henry to get by, as we have 3 to go now. John Peters has moved his way up. So a good job by the 09. We'll be talking to him a little bit potentially here if he keeps that podium spot. Some other battling going on a little further back as Messer's now put Brandon Newhouse a lap down. So, yeah, there's still a lot to be settled here as we have a few more laps to go. Coming to 2 to go into the tri-oval this time by for Ryan Messer.
And there you see it, popsicle sticks, 2 laps to go from Barney up in the flag stand. Messer just has to hit his marks. Clean track up in front of him. It just broke down to a little bit less than 2 seconds, the gap between he and Daddy-O. But I don't think that 99 truck, it's fast. I don't think it's fast enough to make up a second a lap here on about the same tires. And we talked about the strategy earlier on in this one. Ryan Messer taking everybody to school as we get the white flag, white rag. Messer's going to take us around the racetrack one more time. Aaron, take us home.
Yeah, Ryan Messer continuing to do his thing. He does have that lap car, Brandon Newhouse. I think Newhouse is just going to stay out of the way there. But that's a problem for Steven Daddy-O because I don't think Daddy-O is going to be able to do anything right now. It's Messer's race to lose as he races down the backstretch in the number 1. Heading into turn 3 here. He's got clear racetrack. He's not going to catch that 44 of Scott McDonald. So coming out of turn 4, Ryan Messer in the number 1 is going to take the victory tonight here in Charlotte.
Steve Daddio going to cross the stripe in second. John Peters going to be P3. We're going to talk to those podium drivers here momentarily as we get things closed out. Kenny Kibbe and Evan Boley are going to round out the top 5. And let's just take a peek here at the finishing order as we take a look at the rest of the top 10.
Yeah, a lot of good runs today. We talked about Steve Daddy, John Peters. We'll talk to Ben here at the end of the night. Kenny Kitty slipped a little bit to 4th place there in the final finishing order. Evan Boyer rounding out the top 5. Then we got Brent Roy, Reggie Parent, Johnny Miller with a good top 10 run, Dale Glessner, and Corey Casagrande rounding out the top 10.
And as always, we'll talk to our top 3. And I think that this has been a year of firsts here at VidaneTV. But I think this is the first night we've had the same driver win back-to-back features in 2 separate leagues on 2 separate nights in the same week. Ryan Messer coming home with the RBR Season Ocho Race 3 win last night at Lanier, coming to the big track here at Charlotte Motor Speedway and burning them down in the SuperTrucks. Ryan, how do you do it?
It was all strategy tonight. Tried to save early on in the runs, then practice the tires would just get chewed in no time. So just tried to go nice and easy and then put it on kind of in the last 10 laps or so before you have to pit. So we kind of knew what you'd have once the sun went down. So once the track cooled down, just there was a lot of grip and it was pretty quick. So I still felt like kind of how the pit cycles all shaked out. I needed to do it on strategy. And the strategy actually worked out pretty well.
Yeah, we saw probably about halfway or so is when the strategy started to kind of show that there was going to be 3 different routes of it. Is that something you came into the night knowing that we'd be looking at tires 20, 30 laps in, or is that did you do it on the fly throughout the race tonight?
Oh, it was definitely on the fly. I knew that the whole tire strategy, there was going to be a bunch of different ways of doing it, and I had no idea what way I was going to go with. It was just going to be a matter of take it as it comes. And anyways, just kind of got that idea. It's like, well, if I pit, kind of even though I only got 15 laps on these tires, but it's not going to let the new tires take 10, 15 laps to reel that gap back in on you. So kind of took that chance and then wasn't going to have an extra set if we got a late yellow. And that was the gamble that I had to take. And we didn't get a yellow. It ran green the rest of the way, and we were able to get it done.
Picking them up, putting them down, getting a second victory here this week on VidaneTV. Can't win any more races this week because this is the 4th and final show of the week, but there's always next week for sure. Ryan, got to give you an opportunity. Who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack here?
I just shared it. I'm sure my friends and my family all like to watch these things, so I'm sure they're all watching right now as usual. You guys for putting the broadcast on, and the NEP guys. It's been a lot of fun to come and race. I've sucked it loud this year in NEP so far, so it was good to finally get a win and get a run higher than 13th, I think it was. So hopefully we can get a few more of these.
Absolutely, making it look easy here tonight at Charlotte for the BSR 100. Your winner, Ryan Messer. Ryan, congratulations.
Thank you.
And Aaron, I didn't see which way down pit road you went. Did you catch up with the 99 or the 09?
I'm here with the 99, Steve Daddio, and Steve, we're talking to you once again on the podium tonight. Another solid run. Second place, just short of the victory, but you had the same strategy there as Ryan Messer, it seemed like. But was track position the difference, or was the truck just a touch off?
I think Ryan made the right call coming down when he did. I mean, it's hard to predict the future. A yellow could have, could have messed that whole strategy up. But he got the fresh tires early, and he had the position at the end there, whereas I had to play catch up a little bit and burn my stuff up when I pitted later. But for whatever reason, I just had the yellow coming out in the back of my mind, and hindsight's 20/20. I don't think it would have really mattered anyway if I pitted 5 laps later than he did. But it's a lot of fun coming through the field on fresh stuff. Everybody else is struggling out there, so you're just putting down Superman laps trying to catch up. And everybody was really respectful. I appreciate. Again, this league's run super clean, I feel like, this year. So just kind of ran out of time at the end there. I was watching the relatives. I think it came down from 3.5 to 2, and then it kind of stuck there. There was 2 seconds seconds back, and just wasn't going to catch him. Even if I had more time, I used up everything I had to get to P2.
Yeah, but once again, a solid run, and this really helps out in your title defense. You have to be pretty satisfied with the way this season has started out.
Yeah, it's kind of strange for second places. I not really sure what to think. I wasn't really mad about the first three, but this one kind of stings a little bit. And maybe I'll walk that back a little bit because my teammates, I'm sure they don't want to hear me ever say that I'm not confident in a track because they think I'm full of crap. And of course, I go out there and finish second here. But pre-race, I was Charlotte. It doesn't fit me well. I struggle on the long runs. I feel like maintaining speed. I feel like I drop positions and then have to gain them back. But at that point, the run's kind of over. It's just this place is tricky, and you could tell the talent kind of rises to the top. I was watching John behind me. I figured he was coming up, and he was, but again, ran out of time. But I can't be upset with how this season started. I don't know how the points are going to shake out. It's so early to be in the fourth race in the season. I think I'm having fun at this point. We got a long way to go. And like I said, I look forward to this night every week. It's always a lot of fun racing with these guys. So yeah.
And once again, we'll give you yet another chance to tell us who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack.
Friends and family, foremost. Mom, Dad, I know you're out there watching. Thanks for supporting me. And like I said, it's so fun talking after the race. My friends, I think I got Jay and Mort riding with me tonight. And then my sponsors, Daddy-O's, again, cool having my dad on the truck. Reverie Brewing, get out there, Newtown, Connecticut, really good beer, really cool spot. And Brandon, YRD. Truck looks sweet, man. I got it on the podium again here. We're trying to get the P1. We might have to change it up here to get another position, though. You guys up in the booth, always, like I said, I was listening to the broadcast. I'll probably watch that later tonight or tomorrow. And then the guys running the league, Corey, Zane, and Evan, really appreciate it. Like I said, this is always a lot of fun, and look forward to it.
All right, that's Stephen Daddio finishing second, and John Peters. Paul, you're with John Peters in third place.
Indeed, I am, and it's funny. We were kind of listening to some of the drivers talk in the virtual garage area before the race, and there was a lot of under/over questions that were going on, and somebody said something about where's NEP bets, where's net bets, when's that going to come back? I think my money is going to be on Daddio finishing second for the next race. We're off for Thanksgiving next week, but the week after, if you didn't catch that, that's now 4 second place finishes for Steve Daddio this season so far. So that's going to be something to watch, and I bet Salvatore is going to be all over that statistic for us. He already was. It was in the notes. I guess I missed that earlier on. But in any sense, John Peters, he started on the pole all 4 races here so far at Charlotte Motor Speedway, not able to get a top 5 until tonight. On the podium here tonight, John, it's been a little bit. How we doing?
Howdy. Yeah. That was a rather unconventional top 5 for a way to finally get it here. I think Sal for the insights earlier kind of fired me up, gave me some motivation to try to get that done tonight, and then sure enough, get the pole again. So actually, I think it was lap 6, my iRacing screen went down in the middle of the corner. So I just kind of kept my foot in the gas and kept the wheel in it, and I grabbed my mouse and tried to find the iRacing icon to get the screen back up. And I did at a turn 2, and we kept digging. But when Ryan went by, he obviously clipped me because I was slow and on the apron. So I got some damage, started going really slow, lost a ton of ground. Knew it was a 100-lap race. I tried to just not make a bad situation worse. I thought about just pitting and trying to fix the damage and getting off sequence, but I figured I'd just ride it out and just try to get to the caution. So I did that, took my medicine in 30 seconds of repair on pit road, and from there just focus forward, and somehow it all cycled to the front at the end of the race. Ryan did a good job playing the laps right, and Steve and I ended up being real close, but I'm very happy with third with the way that was going for a minute. I'll take it.
Take them when you can get them, especially when they're hard fought like that. And finishing on the podium here tonight in the 100-lapper, longest race on the docket for this season. We'll give you an opportunity here, John. And who's out there getting you to and from the track? Who's out there watching?
Well, thank you guys for doing this. Thanks to NEP and the sponsor tonight. Thanks to my mom for watching, my wife and my 2 dogs for letting me do it, and everyone who supports the league. It's always fun. This is a fun track, and I think we're going to Homestead next, so that should be fun too.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun here in a couple of weeks. John Peters coming home with a podium finish, P3, first top 5 here at the big track here at Charlotte. And that's going to wrap things up. It has been a busy night. It's been a busy week. I'm ready for a 3-day-long nap as we've actually got this weekend off. So we're gonna do a little relaxing, get some planning on for next week. I'll be heading out to Mississippi next week for Batesville, some kart racing, doing a little pit road TV action as well. We've got 3 nights of racing next week here on the airwaves as well. Fast One iRacing Late Model Nationals, they're going to be joining us Monday night. RBR Season Ocho on Tuesday, and the Turn 4 Podcast Winter iRacing League going to be coming at us Wednesday night. We're off next Thursday for Thanksgiving here in the States. We make sure you want to make sure that you have a safe and happy holiday, and we'll see you in the next time we see you here on VidaneTV. We'll catch you on the flip side, and when we do, we are going to be doing it live.